After regaining our position back in the Championship last season, because we won League One, even with that -4 points deduction, we have been very, very busy throughout the summer. We've already kicked off Season 2 as well in the Championship, and it's gone okay. Let's jump in, let's take a look at the transfer business that we have done first. And there is a very big question on everybody's lips. Who have we got to replace Dom Ballard? Well, the answer is Dom Ballard. He's come back, basically. Southampton refused to loan him to us until he returned to Southampton, stayed there for a couple of weeks, and then we went, hey, can we have him on loan again? And they went, sure, perfect. So Dom Ballard is back for Season 2 on loan once again. We've also made Dynel Semeo's loan move a permanent deal, which I'm not convinced was a good idea, but he's in. He's only 22, there's some potential there, so he might get better. We brought in young goalkeeper Brian Okonkwo from Arsenal on a free transfer, and he's immediately gone out on loan to Harrogate. We've also brought in Will Dennis on a free transfer from Bournemouth. He's probably our number 2 goalkeeper. We brought in Joe Williams on a free transfer from Bristol City. And we've also brought in Jairo Riedwald on a free transfer from Crystal Palace. Nathan Ferguson also joins from Crystal Palace on a free transfer. This one I am very happy with. I think he could be superb for us on that right-hand side. And we're not done with Crystal Palace. Scott Banks has also joined on loan from Palace until the end of the season. He has got a little injury, but he'll be fine. And I think probably my best signing of the summer is Fred Onyedinma on a free transfer. Yes, he has come from Rotherham, but I think he is very good. He is probably far too good for Rotherham. I mean, I feel that's horrible. I say he's come from Rotherham. He's come from Luton, technically, hasn't he? But we brought him in on a free transfer, spent last season on loan at Rotherham. He is our starting left winger. And he's very good. He's already scored a couple of goals in the Carabao Cup, one as well in the league, and then he's picked up a fairly serious injury, so he's missing a month of football. That is not all of the players joining the club. There are 2 further players joining the club, which we'll get to in just a moment, because we need to talk about some transfers out first, because we've spent a bit of money. Tyler Binden is the first player to leave, going to Brentford. The New Zealand international has gone for a lot of money, £7 million, potentially going up to 10 million. There's a sell-on in there as well. So Tyler, even though he probably could have been good enough for us this season, we've cashed in. We've also cashed in on Jamari Clark. He's moved over to Ipswich for £625,000. We've also shifted on some fringe players as well. Ben Elliott has gone over to Deportivo La Coruña. Sam Smith has gone to Malaga. I'm not sure why people are going to Spain for some reason. And Harvey Nibbs has gone to Albacete. 3 players going to Spain is odd. And 1 going to Portugal, not so odd because he is Portuguese. It is Joel Pereira has also left the club, going to Porto Menense. And Amadou Mbenge has also left the club, signing for St Etienne, but returning to the club on loan for the season. He's gone for £600,000, potentially going up to £750,000. He's good, but I think with Nathan Ferguson, we've got a replacement. That was kind of the intention. I sold Mbenge because I knew Ferguson was coming in, and now we've got Ferguson and Mbenge as our 2 options and right back. We did also release a huge number of players, the big names there, Grab and Going, Hutchinson, Ajaria. Who else is quite big on that list? I think that's probably it, to be honest, yeah. So those players you might have seen playing in the first team, but they have all moved on to maybe bigger and better things. Grabban and Hutchinson probably have retired. The final player joining the club then, the only player that has cost us any money for £500,000 is Mika Hamilton from Manchester City. And I know he's a left winger. We've got Fred Onyedinma there. I'm retraining him to be a deep-lying playmaker because I think he can do that job pretty well. He's only 20. He's got a lot of potential behind him as well. £500,000 I think is a good bit of business. He was out of contract next season, which is why I think we got him so cheap. I think we're going to have a big season for Mika Hamilton. Already got a goal to his name as well. So that is all of our transfer business. There are some loans as well sort of going on. We've got, the big one, I guess, is Harley Dean and Yiadom going out on loan deals. But everything else we've kind of covered. Quite a long introduction to this video. Let's see what we've done so far in the table. We are currently 10th. We've won 3. We've won 2, technically. We won... no, we have won 3. Sorry, we've beaten Plymouth twice. We beat Derby in the opening game of the season. A 2-1 victory. We lost to Sheffield Wednesday and then West Brom. We drew with Sunderland. We beat Bolton. And then we just beaten Plymouth 3-1. Twice we beat Plymouth 3-1 because we're into the Carabao Cup third round where we're playing Blackpool. We're not going to see that one on camera. In today's episode, we're going to be playing at Cardiff. And I'm going to go with Middlesbrough. I don't know what the other match is going to be, if I'm honest. From a season preview perspective, it's not good reading, is it, for Reading? We are down the bottom in 23rd place, only Huddersfield below us. However, I think we are in for a decent season. I don't think we're going to be down there. I think we're going to be mid-table is probably my target for this one. And then if we just sort by key players as well, we can see our key players are Riedwald and Dom Ballard. I'm very impressed with managing to sign him on a free transfer. Yes, he's expensive, but he's a Dutch international footballer. Him and Mika Hamilton in central midfield, I think, is going to be very good for the Championship. Some other news as well to talk about. Conor Boyce-Clarke, who was out on loan at Doncaster last season, has come back and he is going to be our number one goalkeeper for the season. If we take a look at our squad, sort by our training, which is how I sort by position, we've got Button, we've got Dennis, and we've got Boyce-Clarke. So that is our 3 goalkeepers. I don't want David Button. He's 35 years old. He's far too old for our squad. So he is going to be basically third choice. Dennis is second. Boyce-Clarke will be our number one goalkeeper, assuming he's not on international duty with Jamaica, which seems to happen quite a lot. Let's kick off the season then on camera with an away match against Cardiff. It is going to be Boyce-Clarke in goal, and Mbenge, Holmes, Burgess and Penny in defence, Riedveld and Hamilton in midfield, Banks, Aziz, Kelvin and Ballard leading the lines. I'm happy with this. Ballard has yet to get the ball rolling though when it comes to goals this season. If we scroll down, we've got some injuries going on. Onyedinma is slightly injured. Simeo, Ferguson and Guinness Walker all missing out. We've just had international break as well, so Leai is not particularly match fit because he's had to travel to basically the other side of the world. So yeah, he's kind of tired. I should probably do this and maybe stick some under-21s on the subs bench instead. It stuck a tired man called Michael Strickland on the subs bench. I mean, he's good. He's good, but he's tired. Why are we putting tired people on the subs bench? So up against Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, Cardiff City in South Wales. We've started the season well. We're currently 10th place in the table. As I said earlier, I would expect us to be finishing around mid-table. That's kind of my target. We are on 10 points before we kick off this game. Corner comes in from Ramsey, and it's found the back of the net by Abu Adams. It's 1-0 to Cardiff. Not even 4 minutes played. I might need to start getting clever about the games that I pick for camera and maybe pick home games against terrible sides, because those are the ones we should be beating. Cardiff away from home, I don't think on paper is a match that we're going to win. It's gone wide over 1 of the 2 from the Cardiff player there. It is still obviously 1-0. We've had a chance. We've not seen it, but we've had a chance. Just seen as well, Cardiff are down in the bottom 3, or they were, until they scored the opening goal of the game. Collins with a throw for Cardiff. Now they're coming forward down the left-hand side. Ramsey back to Collins. 27th minute. Cross comes in. Boyce-Clarke can come out, hold on to that one. Are we going to have a little bit of an attack of our own then? Are we going to have an attack? Boyce-Clarke rolls it backwards to Tom Holmes. Not really what we want to be doing, is it? And Mbenge on the right-hand side, getting a start because Ferguson is obviously out injured at the moment. Banks' pass is not very good. And once again, it is Cardiff coming forward. Abde to Ramsey. Left-hand side is O'Dowda with some space. And Mbenge, that's not a foul. It's not a foul, but I'm pretty sure we don't have VAR, so it's going to be a penalty. There is no way that's a foul. He kicked the ball away. That's all he did. It's going to be 2-0 then. Joe Rawls steps up and Boyce-Clarke doesn't manage to save it. It goes 2-0 to Cardiff. Match ratings wise, this is one of those games where they're just playing better. They've just all turned up and none of us have. We've not even had a highlight with us even close to the halfway line, let alone having a chance towards their goal. Decent long range effort this time goes over from Cardiff. We are going to have a stern word, I think, with the squad at half time. Right, guys. I'm disappointed. Thrash arms, terrible, actually. That's what we're going to go with. Ballard is apprehensive. Scott Banks is coming off because he is playing horrendously on a 6.2. We're going to do Basil. On you get Baz. I think that's realistically all we can do at half-time. I don't want to change too much. I'm hoping the team talk has kind of fired them up to maybe do something in the second half, and already we've got a free kick in a good position. Not sure who it is going to be taking this one, though. Looks like a small man. Who could it be? Is it going to be Penny? I don't know. It is Penny. How did I know that was Penny? How did I know he was half decent at free kicks? Here he is then. Steps up on his first game of the season. Anik with the save. It's going to be a corner. And Mbenge is the man to go over to take it. So the right back takes a corner from the left-hand side. It's not the best, or is it the best? Kelvin's there. Goes over the bar. Ramsey with a corner from the right-hand side for Cardiff. Towards the back post. Boyce-Clarke just about saves it, and then I think Mika Hamilton... Actually, I think it might have been Mika Hamilton who blocked it on the line instead of Boyce-Clarke. We're looking better in the second half, but we are so far behind and off the pace that I feel like it is going to be too little too late, even if we do manage to get a goal in this game. Don Ballard collects it. Lovely flick. Mika Hamilton on the ground to Ballard once again. He's got Aziz in front of him. Stops and goes back to Mika Hamilton. Right-hand side is Mbenge. On the ground to Don Ballard. And Don Ballard's missed a sitter. Don Ballard of last season would have buried that. He would have absolutely buried that. Right, we are doing change. We're going to go for Leai up front. And we'll do it that way round. I think we'll do Leai as the advance forward. What else do we do? I mean, we've got some players who are not doing very well. Matt Penny for Tom McIntyre on that left-hand side. Do we do Riedveld as well for Offerborough? Sure. If we can get a goal in the next 5 minutes, it's going to make the last maybe 10 or so a bit more interesting. The problem is, we have not been very good in front of goal at all in this match. And I can't see it changing. We're now into the final 10 minutes anyway. Even if we do score, I don't think there's going to be enough time to get ourselves an equaliser. Parrying with a free kick from a fair distance, but he looks like he's possibly queuing up to shoot. He's not. And Abdi makes it 3-0. Completely out of nothing, that goal. Absolutely out of nothing. 3-0 was not deserved. But still, it's a defeat for us. It's 3-0. It's not good. It might not even be over. There's another chance. It's Wintle to Etete on the ground, finds Robinson, and Benge with a superb tackle. I thought that was going to be another penalty and a second yellow. McIntyre, what are we going to do? Are we going to get a consolation goal? Do we need to think about goal difference this early on in the season? Mika Hamilton collects it from Leai to McIntyre, across to Burgess. Is this a highlight or is this just running down the clock until the full-time whistle goes? We have got 6 minutes of injury time. This is a highlight. Okay, Burgess to Offenbach. 6 minutes is not enough time to score 3 goals. Kelvin, right-hand side, some options. One of them is... It's Basil, isn't it? Of course it's Basil in the middle to Rafael Leai. And the Solomon Islander manages to get his first goal of the season. It is surely a consolation goal. Let's just go very attacking or attacking. Let's push things a little bit further up the pitch. I don't think it's going to make a difference. It did not. It certainly did not. A 3-1 defeat. And I guess Boyce Clark has to take the blame for that. Boyce Clark finishing on a 6.1 should have probably saved the 2 Adams and Abdi goals. Penalty, you can kind of forgive him for that one. This is not a bit of news I was expecting to read. Leai finally manages to score after over 22 competitive matches. And he's finally managed to score a goal. He did score last season. He just clearly didn't score many. And they were mostly towards the front end of the season. But he's managed to get himself a goal, which is good. Doesn't make the league table nicer reading though, does it? Because we are now down in 12th place. Cardiff didn't even move up. Unlucky. We're going to go forward to... Let's pick a match where I think we can win. Millwall away from home. Let's not go with that. Huddersfield at home. They're bottom of the table. Let's go for it. And I imagine if we lose that, I'm not going to be happy. We are back just before the Huddersfield game and they are still rooted to the bottom of the table. However, we have climbed up to 8th place. And that also did involve losing, I think, 5 or 6-0 against Norwich. That would be why Josh Sargent has 11 goals in 10 games. So we've actually won 3 out of the 4 league games in between the matches. We've also beaten Blackpool in the Cup. Dom Ballard finally scoring his first goal of the season in a 2-1 win against Blackburn. A 6-0 defeat against Norwich, where Josh Sargent scores 4. Shane Duffy gets 2 as well. And then we beat Blackpool. Ballard again in the goals. That'll do. We'll say that word. It's Fred Onyedinma in the match against Middlesbrough for that victory. And then Kelvin and Ballard with the goals against Millwall, which means going into this Huddersfield game, we're on pretty good form. We've got 4 wins out of our last 5 games by the looks of it. If you take out the Cup, we've got 3 wins out of our last 5 league matches. So I think we're doing all right at the moment. Let's go and play Huddersfield. And let's see how we get on. We've also drawn against Birmingham in the Carabao Cup 4th round. So for the Huddersfield game then, I think this is probably our strongest starting 11, with Boyce Clark in goal, Ferguson, Holmes, Burgess and Guinness Walker in defence, Rydveld and Hamilton in midfield. The only thing that I would potentially do is maybe play Offenbach. Actually, we're going to go for Offenbach in midfield. Banks and Onyedinma on the wings, Kelvin and Ballard leading the lines. I will say this, however, Boyce Clark hasn't played since that last match. I was trying to find the form bit. Will Dennis has played. Has he done all right? He's done very well apart from the Norwich game. I think we play Will Dennis. So this should be a win. This really should be a win. It is 8th place versus 24th place in the table. A victory here as well could potentially put us all the way up into 5th if other results go our way. Sheffield United are already winning their game after, 2 minutes by the looks of it. Nichols with a free kick for Huddersfield. Straight forward to Lees. Now Rose. We are pushing them back in their own penalty area from a free kick. It's a weird tactic to play when you're bottom of the table. Just go route one. Just lump it upfield. Try and score some goals. This is arguably a winnable game for them as well. A team that have just been promoted from League One. This is a winnable match. Mika Hamilton collects the ball in central midfield, finds Banks on the wing, on the ground to Kelvin, Dom's in the middle, Kelvin's going to go it alone, Nichols makes a decent save. Banks has gone over to take the corner from the right hand side. We've got plenty of blue and white shirts in the box, but the corner's rubbish. Nichols can claim it. So 20 minutes in, we have just dropped down to 10th place in the table because somebody else is now winning their game as well by the looks of it. We are not doing great. I have just realised Huddersfield's kit is practically invisible at times. Depending on the camera angle, it is practically invisible. This might not be the best match to show anybody on YouTube, but there we are. It is Huddersfield coming forward with the ball. We've nicked it through Holmes. Kelvin, ball forward, finds Dommy Ballard, has to score. He's missed another one. Ballard should be burying those. He really should be just putting those away straight into the bottom corner or even into the top corner because he's very good at scoring goals. We saw that last season. It is Rodoni to Wiles or Willies. It's probably Wiles. Simpson to Rodoni, loses out. Now Banks has the ball thanks to Offerborough. Banks is going to go for a run, loses out to, I think, Jonathan Hogg. Nakayama to Rose. Hogg gets the ball back. Now Wiles. Huddersfield trying to pass their way through by the looks of it, but we seem to be slightly quicker off the mark at sometimes nicking the ball off them. Rhodes to Hogg, ball forward to Jack Rodoni, back to Rose, goes for a little wander forward. If we can nick it, which we can, we've got a big open space on the right-hand side. Hamilton, left-hand side is Onyedinma. He's gone for a long-range effort, and Fred, Onyedinma, has just blasted that into the top corner. It is 1-0, 32 minutes played, and that is a very good goal from a very good player. After this match, I do want to talk about some of the players that I tried to sign and couldn't sign. There is a player who is ridiculously good playing in League One because Football Manager didn't quite compute what happened, that they got relegated and I got promoted, and he decided to go to the recently relegated side rather than the recently promoted side. Half-time here then, it is 1-0 to us. Things are going well, you're capable of better. Straight into the second half, no bother to do any changes there because we're just doing quite good. I would like a second goal though. I would feel happier with a second goal. I'm a bit nervous at 1-0. Hamilton to Guinness Walker. Left-hand side, we can go down, finds Onyedinma towards Dommy Ballard. Kelvin's in the middle if he can get us to cross away. Can't manage it. Onyedinma to Hamilton. We've got Offerborough there as well, facing away from goal. Invites Nathan Ferguson forward. Takes a few touches. He's been tripped. It is going to be a penalty. Who takes penalties? Is it Tom Holmes? I want to say it's Tom Holmes. It's not. It's Kelvin. Big Kelvin steps up then. Can he get his first goal of the game? We need to put this one away. If we don't put it away, it's going to be worrying. We do manage to do it. It is 2-0 now against Huddersfield. His 4th of the season. And right now, we are on the cusp of the playoffs. We are sat in 7th place, joint on points if everything stays this way. Kelvin heads upwards. Doesn't quite manage to clear it. Ferguson get the ball upfield, though, towards Don Ballard. Needs some support at the moment. Well played by young Don Ballard to hold up the ball to get some Royals forward. Kelvin to Offerborough. Right-hand side is Banks. Lovely bit of football. Ferguson. Banks needs to carry on his run into the corner. He doesn't do it. And Kelvin just passes it straight to a Huddersfield shirt. Wiles. Good ball. Finds Kasumu. He can run forward. He's got some company though. I think it's Holmes. Holmes goes over. He's given him a kick. And it's a penalty the other way. Number 9 then for Huddersfield stepping up. That cannot be Jordan Rhodes. Surely that is not Jordan Rhodes. It's Jordan Rhodes. I mean, Jordan Rhodes is a player that I've always liked as a footballer for some reason. How is he still playing? He's 34. He's a Huddersfield legend, isn't he? Let's be honest, he's a Huddersfield legend for that kind of stint there. I mean, how is he still playing at 34? I didn't realise how good he was at Blackburn as well. Anyway, enough reminiscing about Jordan Rhodes. This match suddenly opens back up again, and if Huddersfield can get themselves an equaliser, I'm not going to be best pleased. Guinness Walker with a throw to Hamilton. Onyedinma. Kelvin's in the penalty area, gets some space for himself, tucks that ball away. We restore our 2-goal advantage. And I've just realised we've not done any subs, so let's do a few. Leai is going to come on. We're going to take Hamilton. Why have I done that? We're going to take Hamilton off. We're going to do Joe Williams. Joe Williams has come in. He doesn't really get a chance at the moment because basically he's our 4th choice central midfielder behind Offerborough, Hamilton and Rydvald. So let's bring him on, give him a chance. Do we do Basil as well? Let's do Basil as well for Scott. Final 10 minutes of the match. West Brom Burnley is currently a 3-3 classic going on over there. It is looking like it's going to be a 3-1 victory here, which will be very, very good for us. And at the death, because QPR have just scored a potentially winning goal against, I want to say Sheffield Wednesday, we've moved up into the playoffs. It is Nichols claiming that one. We've got 6 minutes of injury time in this match as well, like we did the last one. Nichols goes for a wander around his penalty area. Is something going to happen? Or are we running down the clock? There's still 3 minutes to play, so I assume something's going to happen. Rodoni with it for Huddersfield. Ball forward. Nakayama manages to get past Ferguson. Finds Jordan Rhodes across to Wiles. Wiles' effort goes into the bottom corner. And it is 3-2 with 3 minutes to play. Will Dennis has played really well the last few matches, apart from the Norwich one. And then he's decided, because I've hit record, I'm going to be rubbish. Ferguson with a corner for us. Why is Nathan Ferguson taking our corners? I'm not going to question it. Ferguson, where are you going to put it then? Is this going to be a chance? Can we make it 4-2? It would be good if we could, because we do have to get rid of some of that -6 goal difference from the Norwich game. Basil to Holmes. Basil Chuma goes for goal, tucks it into the bottom corner. His first goal in the Championship, and the Ugandan international secures the victory on 97 minutes. Are we having another highlight, or is the match just about to end? Because I feel like we've had enough. We are 2 minutes over the 96 that was allocated. We're now nearly on 98 minutes played. Lees goes all the way back to Nichols. Is this just running down the clock? I'm hoping this is just running down the clock. Left-hand side is Karomo, who's picked up an injury, apparently. Pearson's ball upfield. Hopefully is intercepted. Burgess's control is awful. Guinness Walker nicks it. We're on 98 minutes. Don Ballard. Kelvin's in the middle. We've hopefully got Basil as well joining if we can get the cross into the box. Ballard does eventually cross it in. It's towards Basil Chuma. And Basil Chuma, the 5'6" man, heads the ball, hits the base of the post. I don't think it was going to count. I think somebody was offside. And the full-time whistle goes. What a weird highlight to end the match, by the way. It didn't make sense. It wasn't needed. We've won 4-2. And because of that victory, we do move ourselves up into 6th place in the table halfway through October. 12 games played so far, so we're almost a quarter of the way through the season, which is what we like to see. I'm going to jump forward in this episode until, I'm going to say, the end of November, maybe? And then next episode, we're going to start off with something that's going to go on in December. So we're going to jump back. We're going to see what happens in all of these results as well and see where we are as we enter December. So with a few more games played, we are still chasing promotion. 7th place, 32 points on the board. We haven't done particularly well, but we have had some very difficult matches to play. So we left off with the Huddersfield game. We did beat Burnley, which is a very big win, a 2-1 victory there. We lost against Swansea. We lost against Birmingham, which means we are now out of the Carabao Cup. We beat Sheffield United 2-0. We beat QPR 4-1. Leai, Onyedinma, Chuma, and a goal in the 97th minute from Cameron Burgess, and then 2 defeats on the spin. Ipswich and Luton. Luton we were not very good in. You can probably tell Luton are actually still pretty decent in this save. And then Leeds, a 2-2 draw, which is a very good draw until you realise Scott Banks missed a penalty in the 93rd minute, which would have won us the game, and we were 2-0 up until the 80th minute. Actually, on paper, that was kind of awful, wasn't it? But it does mean, like I said, league table-wise, we are still fighting for potentially a playoff. I think automatic promotion is probably a little bit too far out of reach at the moment. What is that, 8 points away from the top 2, but if we can get playoffs, I'll be very happy with the playoffs. Next episode then, we are going to do a match in December, and we're going to do a match in February, or a match or 2 in February. Maybe we'll do 1 in December, 1 in February, and 1 in January. That's not the order that the months go, but that's what we might do. We're not going to do Huddersfield because we've obviously already done that. Thank you very much for watching this one. If you did enjoy, do please remember like, subscribe, and all that fancy YouTubey bobbins, and I'll be back for episode 2.